just a recap of the start line area. Now the whole course has been taped up. Hopefully you can get some perspective of the slightly uphill start, which goes up to the 180 at the top. This is now the 180 at the top of the start straight. Goes round the corner and back down, slightly downhill. To our right here is where the under 10s and under 12s rejoin the course. And it now flies down to a very fast 90-degree right-hander. And keeps heading downhill into a combination of corners. As we exit the combination of corners, we head into step up here, which does a 180 and heads back down over a little roll or possibly a jump for fast descent. One note which is marked on the map is that there's an entrance here marked gridding, which is where you head up to the gridding for each race. It's on the course and should make life a little bit easier for everybody. The course itself is on this descent now, still heading towards the first set of corners. So the approach into these corners is actually off camber and fast and quite slippery. So it's an important corner. So we exit the last of this combination, and this is where the under 10s head. The under 10s head straight up through that section, which Helen's just taping, while the under 12s do an extra little section involving a fast descent and climb. Everybody except the under 10s does this very fast off-camber downhill corner, which leads into a little climb. So we're heading up to the grassy knoll, and this looks slightly confusing, but it will be clear on the day. The under 10s and under 12s now turn right here and go up that gap there, which rejoins the course. If you remember earlier, I said where they join the course, where everybody else carries on through this section and up significantly harder climb and descent down this side, which exits you out there. So I think you can see the moisture in the ground there still. I think it's going to become tricky, just as we wanted really. We're now into the steps. They're very shallow steps, as you saw from a post earlier in the week. But there's quite a lot of them, and the spacing is quite difficult on them. And it is steep here. So we're looking straight up, which is where all the races on Sunday go. But youth and novice riders do a 180 on the ground here and head straight back down into one of the two fastest corners on the course before moving into this big slippery section over here. After the slippery slidey section, we come into just some pretty straightforward off-camber traverses, backwards and forwards until you reach the hurdles here, which as you can see they're 300 hurdles and a slight off-camber. Youth riders and novice riders go straight across. There's a piece of tape blocking your way there, but you go straight across, where on the Sunday all of the other races climb up this section, which is a pretty steep climb. So this is the point where the youth and novice riders rejoin the main race. They're descending, and everyone then descends on this section into a really nice, very flowy, fun 180. If you get this right, it will carry a lot of speed into the uphill section. If you get it wrong, you'll find yourself riding around the back of this berm and trying to pick up your speed as you head into this, what is really the final uphill section. In terms of tyre choice, I mean, I think you're probably looking at the film thinking a good intermediate tyre would be perfect for this. I tend to agree with you, but we have found that where grip is needed, particularly on the front tyre, something more aggressive may be useful. It's up to you, and depends what happens, but yeah, intermediate or mud. This is the final long climb. Sunday races, everyone does all the climb. It is steep. Novice and youth 14-16 riders go about halfway up. We're just coming to the section now before turning right. So youth 14-16s turn right here. There's some arrows on the ground. Into there. And the rest of you carry on up and we'll rejoin the course at the top. So we're just joining the course here, right at the top of the course, the high point, where you do a 90-degree turn back through a really fun, flowy section, which we'll look at in a minute. But from here, you get a good overall view of the course, of how compact the course is, and how much elevation there is. But the course isn't all about elevation. It's quite technical, quite slippery, really fast sections in it as well. So hopefully everyone will find it a good challenge. So we're going downhill here now. This is a flowy section where you do right and left handers, building up speed. And deceptively steep. You can probably see everybody down there preparing the roadway as we continue to drop, picking up a lot of speed. This is where the youth 14-16 riders rejoin the course and the novice riders. So they pop in here, having missed the climb we've just come down. And then we all enter into the rutty section. So here we are, having just done the flowy descent, we're now entering the rutty section. Lots of line choices here. You can go either side of the ruts, down the middle, lots of places to go. But you can see it's quite a technical area. The ground is tricky, but there is good time to be made up here, and good riders will really enjoy this section. And here we are exiting the rutty section through a drainage ditch which we've christened the grave, which for most will be a jump before the final right and left, which takes you back to rejoin the start straight about halfway along it, where you do a 180 and start lap 2.